The black line is the average speed of foreclosure, the number of days it takes to complete a foreclosure, the duration of foreclosure. And there's an enormous increase in the volume of foreclosure, that's the line going up, and a decline in the time it takes to complete one, a foreclosure. So in 1992, we have more than 6,000 foreclosures filed. Takes an average of 388 days to complete. 2006, 22,000 foreclosures filed, only 307 days to complete. What are the mechanisms driving that change? Part of it is this new actors in the legal services industry and new demand for specialized legal services. Traditionally, local lenders employed generalist real estate law firms to manage mortgage foreclosures. These lawyers worked with banks and borrowers across many different stages of the life's loan and didn't maximize foreclosure efficiency. They didn't just do foreclosure, they had other types of business. In the early 80s, one real estate attorney who handled foreclosures for a local bank described her experience in the early 80s. We always wanted to work things out. If a client came to me and said, I can't afford these payments right now, can we renegotiate? I would have called up Sam at the bank and said, the Smiths are in my office. Can they, for the next 6 months, pay half? And then when their tax refund comes, can they get caught up? We would just work it out because that was the bank's business. So servicers managing loans across the country don't need legal services for making loans or real estate disputes. They only need foreclosure, basically, and they need foreclosure to be as quick and cheap as possible. Law firms competing for this business worked on flat fee contracts and competed on speed. Instead of billing by the hour, they charged a flat rate, maybe $500, $1,000 per foreclosure. This meant that the faster the foreclosure was processed, the less work they had to do on it, the more profitable it would be for the law firm, the cheaper it would be for the servicer. In the mid-1980s, something called the critical date system developed. This broke foreclosure down into a series of steps and assigned a timeline to each step. Firms that didn't meet these metrics would be penalized. By the early 2000s, there was little discretion left for foreclosure attorneys, even to pursue options that might have avoided foreclosure or saved homeowners and investors money. One attorney described why he gave up his high-volume foreclosure practice in 2001. Servicers used to send me a report every month saying, you met our critical date filing for 87% of your cases, but in the other 13% you failed. As a result, this coming month, we're sending you 13% less cases. I would pull out those cases and write a reply. The Adams case was filed in 36 days because we couldn't get a document from your office. The cause for the delay wasn't sourced from us, so you shouldn't hold that against me. Mr. and Mrs. Banks reinstated their loan on the 34th day. Had we filed on the 30th day, they wouldn't have been able to reinstate because they would have had $900 in additional court costs. We solved the problem. I produced these long letters, and I'd get a letter back thanking me for my effort, thanking me for my insight, but advising me that this month, as in the future, the critical date system would control. For servicers and high-volume attorneys, foreclosing as quickly as possible was a way to make money and be competitive in a bare-knuckle market.